Hey there, welcome to LSAT Demon Daily. I'm Rachel Ryan. I'm an Ask a Button responder, and I work a bit with the admissions team here at LSAT Demon. Joining me today is Tim Wilson, who's also an Ask Button responder with LSAT Demon. Tim, thanks for being here. I'm really excited to talk about our admissions processes and the importance of applying broadly.
Yeah,
So, yeah, we'll just jump right in. Um, so how many schools did you apply to?
yeah, absolutely. So I applied to 12, I believe.
Okay, cool. I applied to eight. um, which I don't know if that was enough, but we'll talk about that a little more later. But yeah, I applied to about eight schools. Did you apply for any fee waivers when you applied?
Yeah, I tried to get pretty much every fee waiver I could because I mean,
Okay.
those fees are just ridiculous in my opinion.
Hmm.
So, yeah, definitely, if you're applying this cycle, try to get those fees.
Yeah, and were you successful at that?
I'd say like half of the schools, I was able to get it. I
Cool.
didn't qualify for the LSAC fee waiver for some
Hmm.
reason. But for half the schools, or for everyone, I just tried to explain my situation, and yeah, for around half, they were pretty understanding, and they just gave me a fee waiver. What about you?
That's great. Yeah, I think it was about half for me as well. I also didn't apply for the LSAC fee waiver. I did appeal that decision. So always remember that that's an option. You can always try to appeal a decision that LSAC makes if they think that you don't qualify for a waiver. The appeal was also denied, but I mean, we have to try, right?
Yeah.
And doing those fee waivers can really bring down the cost of your applications, which is really important, obviously, in the importance of applying broadly, because if you can bring that price down, makes it a lot easier to apply to a lot more schools.
Yep, absolutely. Well said.
So when did you get those applications in?
So I got mine in around late October. It was a bit
Okay,
later than I would want. Here at LSAT Demon, we always advertise to apply as early as possible.
right.
But I felt as though my personal statement and my written materials weren't the top notch that I wanted. So I figured I'd sacrifice a little bit on the timeline just to get the best materials I can get out there. And I would, advise other people who are applying to do that. You could apply as early as you can, but if you're racing for it and you're not sending the best things that you can, applying that early is, my opinion, kind of a waste. So definitely get the best written materials you can, get the best LSAT you can, and apply as early as you can.
Yes, I agree. Were you waiting on an LSAT score as part of that delay, like not delay, but that slight late application? Were you waiting on a score or you just were ready?
No, no. I did start my written materials a bit late. I got my score in June, and I
Okay.
figured right after I got it in June, that's when I would, uh, you know, race to get my personal statement and all those written materials out. I mean, it takes
Hmm.
way more time than I thought, so definitely everybody just give yourself a ton of time to do that. I mean, no matter what, your personal statement isn't going to be perfect. I could read it right now or put it on the personal statement gong show on our other podcast and it would be ripped to shreds. But definitely give yourself enough time for that.
I agree. I actually said we did a panel version of this episode, and I said to Leslie, who's our personal statement editor, that my personal statement would absolutely be destroyed on the Gong Show. To the point that when I sent it to her for her to look at, it was with the caveat of, I don't want this on the Gong Show.
Yeah.
um, but yes, I agree. When I'm advising students now via the admissions ask button, um, with the timeline of the personal statement, I tell them to give it 3 months minimum
Absolutely.
because I think you should be creating this document with just your thoughts and throwing your thoughts in there for a long time before you actually start writing so that you can look at all of your experiences and something might cross your mind like, oh, I forgot that I did that amazing thing at that job I had. and you might want to include that in your statement. So it's really good to give yourself some time to keep those thoughts sort of together and then write based on that.
Absolutely.
Um, so I agree. I applied at the very first week of October, but
Hmm.
my timeline was the opposite of yours. I had everything done and ready to go. And I took the August LSAT thinking I was going to be one and done. My scores were looking great. I had scored a 179 on a practice test. And the August LSAT did not go how I wanted, so I took September, and as soon as I got those September scores back, I gathered up the rest of my materials and applied. But I was kind of stuck waiting on that score, which is,
Hmm.
important to remember that it can happen. So just factoring that in when you think that first score is going to be the score that you send to schools, sometimes you change your mind when you get that score back.
Yeah, as we say, variance happens,
Yep,
it can, it can be your friend. It is your friend. But no matter how high you score on a practice test score, your official test is gonna be somewhere within that range. So yeah, that's great.
exactly. All right, so what's one thing that you felt set you up for success while you were applying?
Um, I mean, I definitely think my LSAT and my GPA. I'll be transparent. I had a 173, 3.97 GPA, and I thought that
Nice.
was pretty solid. To get me in the door for these schools. Because no matter how much these schools say it, they are trying to increase their medians. It is a business. They're trying to increase their ratings or their rankings so more people can apply and spend their money. So to get you through the door and to make them look better, you have to have the scores that will make them want to admit you. So I think that's what really set me up, and I think that's what's going to mostly set everyone up. Of course, there's going to be a couple of outliers where someone, cured COVID and had a lower LSAT score, but in the vast majority of cases, the LSAT is the most important thing with like when it comes to determining if you get in or not, or if you get the scholarship that you want. So definitely LSAT and GPA.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I came into this a little bit of a splitter as far as the T14 would be concerned. 174 LSAT, 3.75 LSAC GPA. I never thought I was going to go to law school, so I never thought that my grades after undergrad were ever going to be looked at again. So if you're still in undergrad, just know that anything is possible and keep those grades up. In my senior year, I definitely let them slip a little bit because I was already working in my field. And I thought, I'm good. I don't really need to worry that much about school. I'm going to start worrying about work. So definitely worry about school. So the importance of your LSAT score and your GPA cannot be overstated. But I do also think that something that set me up for success was my work experience because it
Mhm.
gave me a great resume. It gave me something to write about on my personal statement. And it showed law schools that I'm an employable person. I've been employed for 10 years. So that's not going to be a problem, hopefully, when I graduate. And I think that when you do bring some outside life and work experience into your application, it can only help you. So don't worry so much about being a K through JD necessarily. Take a
Mhm.
year, get some work experience, earn some money. Law school is expensive.
Yeah.
Hopefully not for you, but the book I just got my first book list this morning, and
Damn.
those books are expensive
Yeah.
anyway. So yes. So I think, yes, LSAT, GPA, and some work experience can really propel your application forward.
100%. Yeah. The LSAT and GPA, like that's going to get you in the door. And a lot of the cases, that's just going to get you in. But like in those cases where that's not necessarily the determining factor, having work experiences like or having things that set you apart is really what's going to keep you in there,
Hmm.
So yeah, that's great. Get your work experience. K through JD's kind of got hurt a lot this cycle, despite some amazing stats. So definitely get your work experience and realize if law school is really for you, if you even want to go to law school.
Absolutely. I agree. So you mentioned this cycle, which brings me to my next question. What surprised you about this admissions cycle?
Uh, I would say how accurate Ben and Nathan were about the game that law schools play when it
Hmm.
comes to determining your scholarship. Law schools this cycle, and I don't know how it is for previous cycles or this upcoming one, but they would either get back to you immediately with your scholarship or they would take forever to let you know, one, if you got in, and two, what your scholarship is. I remember getting the vast majority of my scholarship offers in March or
Hmm.
even early April, And keep in mind, I applied in October.
Right,
So, like, law schools kind of create this sense of urgency that you need to decide now, go now, like, sign the deposit or submit the deposit now, because they don't give you that much time in between getting your scholarship offer and when that first seat deposit is due. So just remember, you are in the driver's seat. You're the one who decides which school you go to, even if you go to school. You are paying them.
right.
They are a customer for you, or they are you're the customer. Sorry. Let me correct that. You're the customer. Um,
They're
and
shopping for you, maybe.
yeah, they're
Could
shopping
be
for
either
you,
way, right?
They're
Yes.
trying to win you over. Exactly.
Hmm. Hmm.
So just remember this upcoming cycle, even if you get in, remember the game that these schools are going to play, trying to get you to submit the seat deposit with some crappy offers.
Right. And sometimes after that scholarship email comes through, they tell you that you need to reply to them within 48 hours or something to express your interest. So they definitely
Yeah.
have their ways to create sometimes a false sense of urgency. And on the other side of that, what surprised me about the admissions process was after submitting my applications the first week in October, I got a full ride offer to a school on October 31st. They called me the morning of Halloween. I was like, this has to be a spam call. And I answered it for some reason. And it was the dean of admissions admitting me and offering me a full ride at the same time. And
Mhm.
it wasn't binding or anything, but she did put some pressure on there as far as, oh, like, would love to know what your thoughts are as soon as possible. And I was very candid with her. I just said, you're the first school I've heard back from. I absolutely appreciate the offer. I am nowhere near ready to make a decision. And
Mhm.
she respected that. But, if they could lock you down with that phone call full ride that feels so exciting and it's so early in the cycle, and there's this sort of temptation of wanting to be done
Yeah.
and oh, this is a great offer, maybe I just say yes to this and withdraw the rest of my apps. Just don't do that. Just wait, because I promise waiting is worth it. If
Yes,
you have that
exactly.
great offer, it won't go away.
Yep. And like Ben and Nathan also talk about this a lot. And they talk about how easily we'll take an offer or how tempting any offer from a law school is. At first, when I heard that, I was like, come on, like, I'm not going to pay sticker at a school or I'm not going to pay 75%, more than half. But when you have these offers in front of you, or a full ride to a school that you don't want to go to, when you have these offers in front of you, it is so much more tempting than you think. The temptation to, like you said, be done with it, not wait anymore, and sacrifice thousands and thousands of dollars just because you want to be done with it all, you know.
Right.
Um, so just remember that temptation is going to be there, and it's up to you to really stay in the driver's seat and
Hmm.
realize your value. It's not the schools that have value, it's you as a student who is making them look better.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. And that being said, if you were applying right now, as a lot of our listeners, hopefully listening to this episode, will be, what's one thing that you would do differently if you were applying right now?
For me, I think I would retake my LSAT.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that because I think a 173 is bad in any way, or any score really below that is bad. I just mean that because I've had a couple practice tests after applying because I just took them for fun that
Hmm.
were higher. And,
Mhm.
as we say here at LSAT Demon, if you had higher practice test scores consistently, then yeah, go for it. Why not? You get 5 attempts. And I took the LSAT 4 times. So I would love to just shoot off that fifth attempt and see what I can get. And that's also because this cycle coming up looks like it's going to be pretty competitive. And, with accommodations and way more people taking the test online, um, scores are drastically going up. So to stay as the most competitive applicant I can, I would try to get the highest LSAT score I could possibly get.
Absolutely. And I think also the fact that study materials like LSAT Demon are now accessible is going to keep making these scores go up because as more and more students learn that they can actually improve by 20 points or 30 points with the right amount of studying and dedication, why wouldn't you try to do that? So I do think, yeah, a 173 is super competitive. I agree. I think I obviously wanted to apply as soon as possible with that 174, but maybe I could have taken it again and gotten a 178. I had those kinds of scores in my practice test, so you never know. But if I were reapplying now, I think I probably would apply to a few more schools. I definitely was slightly under the recommendation that Ben and Nathan give of 10 to 15. I
Hmm.
applied to eight. Um, and I sort of based that decision based on the estimator prior to this cycle, where it was saying that I was getting stipends at every school that I applied to. So I thought, I'm good. That's fine. And then the cycle was just way more competitive than any of us anticipated. So I think if I had maybe put five or six more applications in there, I might have had a few more offers to choose from.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know if
fair
I would
enough.
have made a different decision, but it would have been good to just have a few more offers.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. So tell us about your results. Like where did you get accepted? What great scholarships did you get? I want to know.
Yeah, so I won't go through all of them because I applied to a lot of schools, but the main
Hmm.
three that I was debating was UVA. I got a less than half scholarship there, so they kind of lowballed me a little bit. But and then I got Georgetown at more than half, and then Columbia I got a full ride. So
Nice. That's
yeah.
awesome. Awesome.
What about you?
Yeah, I the three that I was debating between were Northeastern University. They gave me almost a full ride. Boston College, which gave me, I think, more than half, but they're ranked quite a bit higher than Northeastern. And I originally thought I really wanted to stay in the Boston area. That's where I'm originally from.
Oh,
So
nice.
both of those schools were a big draw for me. And then I also got a nearly full ride at Wake Forest University down in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Yep.
So those were the three that, I actually went on site visits for. I ended up not going to the BC site visit, but only because I had already made my decision. But
Oh.
those were the three that I was really thinking about. Um, so what did you choose?
I mean, it was a pretty easy decision after getting the full ride, but
Hmm.
I chose Columbia. To be honest with you, I was fully prepared before I got the full ride to go to UVA. And that's where I went to undergrad. I love Charlottesville. At the Mid Students Day, I had tons of fun.
Hmm.
But going to law school for free, or nearly free is what we advertise here at the Demon, and to not pay for an education like that is pretty unbeatable. So
Absolutely.
yeah, I am going to be joining the class of 2028 at Columbia this fall.
That's awesome. Congratulations. That's so
Thank you.
exciting. You're going to absolutely love New York City. I've lived there for many years and it's a great city and you're going to have the best time and you're going to not pay for law school, which is awesome.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am going to Wake Forest I think I kind
Nice.
of gave that away when I said I didn't go to the Boston College Admitted Students Day, but I am going to Wake Forest. I did tour both Northeastern and Wake Forest, and I had texted my friends and family after the Northeastern visit and said, "Oh, I'm going here. I'm moving back to Boston. I'm so excited. I'll see you all soon." And then went to the Wake Forest admitted students day the following weekend and just knew that that was the right fit for me. Um, so kind of did a switch up there, but I'm very excited to be a demon deacon, really going
Coolest
into
mascot.
the
Coolest mascot ever.
really going into the demon mentality. I
Oh
even
my
chose
God, I
my
didn't even
school
think of that.
mascot.
Yeah.
Yep. So,
Nice.
yep. So
That's
that'll be
awesome.
good. But yeah, so I think it's important to remember. I think both of us kind of thought we were going to end up one place and ended up somewhere else, which really drives home our point of applying broadly, apply to schools that you didn't think you were interested in, that have good rankings and that tell you you might get a good offer there, and be open to choosing something that seems different to you because it's the best decision for you, right?
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Like a lot of people worry about fit. Will I be super happy here? And of course,
Hmm.
that's very important, of course. But remember, you're paying for this, and the education is we're all going to be taking the same classes, really, no matter what school you're going to. Of course, the level of education is different at varying schools, of course, and the level of opportunity. But the main thing that, in my opinion, that should be factoring in these decisions is the finances. And if you have one school that you're deciding to like debating paying sticker for and you like it more and you feel like it's a better fit versus a full ride or near full ride, I think the full ride should still weigh pretty heavily in that decision.
Absolutely. I think that has to be weighed the highest. And in
Mm,
the case of my two, they were going to cost me the same amount. And it ended up being a matter of, well, this one that I didn't think I want to go to is ranked way higher than the one I thought I wanted to go to. And it ended up just feeling like a better fit when I was there. But that would
absolutely.
have been not even a real decision if it was a case of full price at Wake and almost a full ride at Northeastern, it wouldn't have been a decision. I would have just gone to Northeastern. So definitely the money is always the first thing that you want to consider because these schools are
Absolutely.
expensive.
Yep.
Yeah. Anything else? Any final thoughts?
No, no,
Awesome.
that's pretty much it. Good luck everybody. I hope this admission cycle goes well for you. And if not, you don't have to go this cycle. You could always just
Absolutely.
keep taking the LSAT and keep applying until you get the result that you want. You're in the driver's seat.
Absolutely. We want you to keep studying with us. If that means you put it off another year and keep studying, we're happy to have you. And the LSAT's not going anywhere. Law school's not going anywhere. And if you go somewhere full price, your student debt will not be going anywhere. So
Hmm.
get the best score you can and go to law school for free. That being said, for any of our live members who are listening today and you want to hear more about admissions advice, make sure to check out our admissions courses. Every Tuesday morning at 10:30 Eastern, Leslie runs her coffee and personal statements class. Leslie charges a lot of money to look at your personal statements one-on-one. So if you're a live member, you absolutely should be going to her class. It's included in your plan. You should be taking advantage of that. And Tess on Saturdays at 10:30 Eastern Time has a general admissions course where she picks a topic each week and will give you guys all the advice that you want on admissions. And finally, email daily at lsatdemon.com if you'd like to ask us a question or if you want to share some LSAT or law school admissions news. Thanks for listening.